Ahoy and welcome back to my playthrough of 9 Noir Lives.
Ah! Who are you, and why are you screaming at me?
I'm Pepe, and you screamed at me! Oh, I got a fright!
No, I got a fright. I turn on the light, and you're just lurking there in the dark, all creepy-like. Why didn't you say something sooner?
I wasn't sure who you were, my cat. I thought you might be a mousy minion of the Thems. Or even the Thems themselves!
The Thems? What the Thems?
Yeah, my cat. The Thems. They watch, they see, they observe. Completely undetectable, but everywhere. Listening in with their secret microphones while their squeaky experiments run amok.
Wow, there's a whole lot going on there, but to pick up on one point, if they're undetectable, how do you know they're there?
My cat, that's exactly the sort of question that makes the Thems come for you. I know because they steal my mail. People send me mail all the time, but I don't get any of it. And as if that wasn't enough, they steal my robot friends too.
Well, this is going to be a fascinating conversation. As my panicked breathing slowed, I got a chance to look at the strange cat who'd startled me. He had some kind of bizarrely shaped hat on, and his eyes darted around like they were chasing invisible mice. When he wasn't speaking, his lips still moved like he was murmuring things to himself. I wondered where this is going to lead, if anywhere. I'm here to investigate the death of Edgar Montemute, and I have a few questions for you.
Yeah, my cat. I know exactly what happened.
You do? That's fantastic. What happened?
Well, my cat, it went down like this. I was cleaning up like I always do, sweeping and wiping and making things shine. You gotta make it look good for the big boss, you know? I just finished collecting all the hidden microphones that the Thems planted in the club recently, and came back down here to dispose of them when I heard some thumping upstairs. So I go to peek out.
And?
And there he was, my cat! Big as a big thing! Thumping along, arms swinging, massive head sweeping back and forth, looking for new victims with those horrible, dead eyes of his.
Who?
Cat, don't you listen? Mosilla! I saw him, clear as whiskers on my face. He was here, and he must have killed that cat right before he stole his face.
You saw him? Mousezilla? I mean, with Edgar's body?
I saw the whiskered monstrosity, yeah, but that's all I remember for sure. I got such a fright I fainted. Didn't see anything else until I woke up at the bottom of the stairs. I was real shaken, my cat, I'll tell you that. I just calmed down when I heard noises at the door. I thought Mousezilla was coming to finish the job, so I turned the lights off, and I kept very still.
I have so many more questions. You're saying Edgar was killed by Mousezilla. Mousezilla isn't real. You know, he's just an urban legend, a giant mouse that roams the city at night, hunting cats. Come on.
He ain't no legend, my cat! The killer mouse is very real, and he stalks the streets of the city, exacting his revenge on the citizens for the evils of those who made him. He was here, and if he didn't prefer his victims awake, he'd have kidnapped me.
He was made. By whom?
By the Thems. The secret watchers, the controllers, my cat. Those who lurk in the shadows and stretch their tentacles into every pie.
Stretch their... Right. Okay. Just to summarize where we are. You're saying that a secret cabal of dessert-loving cephalopods created a gigantic mouse driven by vengeance.
And by face jealousy.
And that. Yeah, sure. And they unleashed it on the city.
Not unleashed! It escaped! Their feline experiments finally proved too much for him, and with his monstrous strength, He broke free of their secret underground experimentation lab, mad with pain and an unnatural desire to
To kill a single solitary cat in a club run by the most dangerous crime boss in the city.
You're getting it, my cat. This is just the beginning. Soon Mozilla will be a name nobody will forget.
I kind of wish I could forget this conversation. You know what, I'm not sure I follow the part about his face being stolen.
That's right, my cat. Mozilla lives in constant torment, wishing to be as normal as the rest of us, but unable to, due to his hideous form. He hunts down cats and steals their faces! He's a faceophile!
Right. The thing is, I could see Edgar's body when I walked in, and it very much still has a face.
Nuh-uh, my cat. That's not his face. It just looks like his face.
I think you'll find that's one of the main uses of a face.
Mozilla is a weapon of the thems. They replace cats' faces with their own versions, stuffed full of listening devices and cameras. They're watching us all through stolen faces.
I'm guessing you take a whole heap of drugs. I couldn't help but admire your very, unique hat.
What hat?
The one on your head?
That's not a hat, my cat. Does it look like a hat?
Well, yes. In every possible way. If it's not a hat, what is it?
It's a symbol, my cat, of the truth. Hats cover you. They protect you. This does the opposite. It unprotects you. It uncovers your mind so you can see what's been right in front of you all your life.
Oh boy, okay.
This world, my cat, it ain't a globe. It's a pyramid.
Pyramid? The world is pyramid-shaped?
You got it. We live on a giant pyramid.
Well, that's a sentence. First question, are we right on the tip of it? If so, surely we'd slide down the sides? The cat tapped the side of his nose with a knowing look and smirked at me as if he'd avoided a clever trap.
You won't get our secrets that easily, my cat. You gotta become a paid member of the Pyramid Society first.
Pyramid Society?
That's it, my cat. Become a proud pyramid head. We spread the truth of the nature of our reality, defeating the nefarious schemes of the them through pyramidal truths. Do you want to join as member number 2? You'll be second in command.
Gosh, you know, normally I would, but I just signed up for an archery magazine. So.
It's all right, my cat. I'll be here when you're ready. Truth can be scary.
You're scary. What was that? Oh God, about getting rid of hidden microphones.
Yep. The thems put 'em everywhere. When I clean up, I help the boss out. Get rid of 'em all. Chuck 'em right in the trash bin out back. I hope they like listening to rats.
If these microphones are hidden, how do you know what they look like? The cat pointed a finger at his nose and took a deep sniff.
The nose knows, my cat. I can sniff 'em out. Can always smell a secret listening device. That's why the thems ain't got me yet.
Yep, that's definitely why.
Plus, some of 'em make a noise. You hear a weird noise somewhere? It's probably a secret microphone. Sure as sugar.
Not perhaps just an ordinary noise made by, dozens of common items?
Nope. Secret microphone.
So, when I was feeling around in the darkness and I leaned in for a lick...
Yep.
It's just that licking is how I make sense of the world sometimes, you know, and...
Yep.
I mean, it'll dry up soon, I'm sure. And you taste great, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just mean that if I had to lick a stranger in pitch blackness again, well, I'd pick you.
My ear is still damp.
I am so sorry. Can you tell me anything about Edgar? Before he was killed, I mean.
Well, I know that Bartholomew loved him a lot. Enough that I don't think he realized that his son hadn't turned out much like him.
Care to elaborate?
I like working for Bartholomew. And yeah, I know what he does. He's still a good boss. But Edgar, I gave him a pamphlet once, my cat. He stood still for a long time reading it. I thought he was going to get it, but he finished it and tore it up in front of me. Told me to stop wasting time on that trash and spend more time cleaning up the real trash.
So I'm guessing you were not a fan.
Once I finish cleaning up the mess he made out there, I'm not going to think about him ever again, my cat.
Do you have any ideas about the identity of the thems? What branch of government are they from?
What? Don't talk crazy now, my cat. They're not from the government. The government is doing an admirable job under difficult and complex fiscal conditions both domestically and abroad, and should be applauded for their stable and progressive policies.
I feel there's going to be a very different follow-up.
It's those cubists who are stealing our thoughts and trying to control our actions. The nutcases who think the world is a cube. Their denial of pyramid truths is why Mousezilla was able to escape their labs and unleashed upon the poor citizens of Meow Meow Furrington. You don't want them knowing that you know about them, though. Not everyone has the right thought-repelling headgear. Plus, you gotta take it off when you shower. So just call them the thems. They can't decode that with their cube magic. Ha ha!
Wow. Sorry, did you say cubists?
Yep. A bunch of insane squares who think the world is a cube, not a pyramid. Can you believe it? I like calling them squares, because I know they don't like it. They've had it in for my pyramid society for ages. They're afraid of my truths.
So your pyramid society has a rival society of cubitarians who say the world is a cube, and they're plotting your demise.
Cubists! But yes, six-sided crazies, the lot of them. If you ever meet some, I suggest you just walk away.
Believe me, it's crossed my mind a few times now. Talk later.
Hey, what are you doing?
I want to polish this key. Gosh, little key, how'd you get so dirty? You need a good washing.
The key looks fine to me. Leave it alone.
All right, look, I'm investigating, and I think I need this.
No, you don't.
I'll have you know, there are 2 police cats upstairs. I'll call them down here if I have to.
Go for it. I've been defending against the forces of cubic disorder for years. Do you think a few police cats bother me?
Fine, you called my bluff on that, but I still need it.
No! That's the skeleton key for the whole club. The big boss will have my fur for a bedspread if I let you take that.
Why is it just sitting out in the open then?
So I can keep an eye on it. Putting things in drawers is exactly what the thems want you to do.
A collection of papers about the thems. Red thread between random papers. Always a good sign. Well, this piece of paper says proposal to replace circular manhole covers with pyramids. So I'll just leave that there. I don't want to start pulling on those threads, as it were. It doesn't look nearly as comfortable as the one in my office. A printing press? What is this doing here? This thing doesn't seem to be operational. It looks almost brand new, though. Oh, here's a panel I can open. This thing doesn't seem... Hey, this coin fits perfectly into the screw. This might work. That's done it. Ha! That wasn't too tricky. If there's anywhere these components would fit, it's in there. Maybe these components can be moved around. That must be the on switch for the printing press. I think that's done it. Let's turn it on and see. Ah! Ow, what was that? Is this a printer or a cannon? Yeah! Just call me Cuddles the Mechanic. Cuddles Nutter Butter, mechanic at large.
What? Why? I thought you were a private investigator.
I am a private investigator. I just mean... Never mind. Your printing press is fixed, by the way, but it wasn't broken accidentally. Someone definitely sabotaged it.
I knew it! It was the Dems for sure! But now, thanks to you, I can get back to printing my pamphlets.
Some sort of manual for a machine, perhaps for the printing press?
I could see.
Why can't I investigate the body?
We can't take shortcuts tonight, Cuddles.
Come on, just, let me have a closer look-see.
Your closer look is what I'm worried about. No, we need to wait for the crime scene photographer to get here before we disturb the body.
Well, when will the photographer arrive?
Nibbles? Gee, I don't know. Let me pull out my magical cordless phone and ask him. It's late, Cuddles. He was probably home already. Could be a while.
So I'm just supposed to stand around and wait, like you.
Or you could, interview some people. But if you're that desperate, I suggest you head down to the police station yourself. Edna will know where Nibbles is, and the sooner he gets here, the sooner you get to look at the body.
Great idea. Edna loves me.
That's your take on that relationship, is it? Huh, interesting.
Why does everyone keep saying that? Never mind. I guess I'd better get back to work.
Where'd the lights go?
Zoink! Bingo! A key. Who would have thought? That's what a key does. A menagerie of sprays, ointments, and whatever's in that jar. Is that jam?
Why, good evening, Lady Crumpington. Another benefit for the tiny windswept orphans trust? Oh, yes, they do show love getting blown over, the poor tykes. Oh.
Yeah. Ramon, there's a lot of stuff in here, but no missing cat. Maybe she left some clues in one of these chests. Miss Cremiston, are you all right?
I think so. I hope so.
Oh, there. Shh. Don't worry. You're safe now. I've been looking for you. You have been rescued by the city's foremost private investigator.
Alfonso is here?
Alfonso, you really want to be rescued by that hack? He can't. No. My name's Cuddles Nutterbutter.
Oh, I see. Thank you for saving me, Mr. Nutterbutter. But how did you know I was here?
Well, I'm here to investigate the murder, and...
What?
Oh, of course. Miss Cremiston, I'm sorry to inform you that we found a body upstairs, and it is Edgar Montemue, and he is deceased. She dropped her head and turned away, and I could hear her taking deep breaths before turning back to face me, tears brimming in her shadowed eyes.
Oh, Edgar. Dear Edgar. It was always going to end like this.
Ms. Cremiston, are you saying you expected Edgar to be murdered?
Oh, Cuddles. May I call you Cuddles? I'd be lying if I said I didn't think that this might happen eventually. This isn't the first time there's been a murder in the club since I've worked here. The Montemues attract danger.
Miss Cremiston, we've been wondering where you are, and finding you in a chest, well, it leaves me with a lot of questions. Can we speak?
Of course, Cuddles. And please, call me Desiree. Desiree, kitty.
My heart still thudding from adrenaline. I took in the cat that had sprung forth like an apparition from the depths of the chest. She was beautiful, remarkably so. I felt my heart thud extra hard, but this time it wasn't from shock. So why were you hiding in there, and what were you afraid of when I opened it?
The slash of the knife? A gunshot? Oh, Cuddles, you can imagine the things I've seen working in a place like this. There's always a feeling of being on borrowed time. And last night, I thought it was all finally gonna catch up to me.
I see. Can you give me details?
It's all a bit jumbled, sugar, but I can try. After I retired to my room last night, I needed to relax. It was a busy night. Edgar paid us an unexpected visit. Wonderful, Edgar. Oh, I was so happy to see him. Oh, it had all left me quite exhausted, however, and I took a few little helpers to encourage me to relax.
She looked around furtively, as if expecting someone to leap out suddenly from behind one of her racks of clothes.
Please, Cuddles, you must keep that to yourself. Bartholomew was terribly strict with us, and if he knew I had a little habit, I'd count myself grateful to only be fired.
Oh, my lips are sealed, Desiree.
You have my deepest gratitude, Cuddles. So, I had taken a couple of my little helpers and lay down to let them do their work. It was late, I know, because I heard Tinkle locking up, after 3 a.m. at least. I'm not sure how much longer I rested before I heard Edgar's voice in the passageway outside.
So you're saying you saw Edgar alive after the club was closed for the night?
I didn't see him. No. My door was shut, so I only heard his voice, but I could never mistake it. And he wasn't alone.
Who was with him?
I'm afraid I don't have a name, Cuddles. But I recognized the voice. I'd heard it only hours before, you see. There was a cat in the club last night. Big, muscled, thuggish. We get so many like him, I wouldn't have normally even noticed. But Edgar was around, and I couldn't take my eyes off him. So I noticed when he drifted over to where the stranger sat and began speaking furtively to him. I don't know what they said, but I know what the setup for something illegal looks like.
And what makes you think it was illegal?
Well, Edgar was a Montague, and the thug was a thug. It was dark, but I'm sure I saw Edgar lean in at one point, as if receiving something from his friend. When he finished speaking to the stranger, Edgar wandered over to speak to Tinkle. The stranger got up to leave soon after, and that's when I heard his voice. He passed my stage on his way out. He tossed a few notes at me, told me to keep up the good work. His voice.
She shuddered, her rumpled clothes shimmering in the light.
Such an unpleasant one, Sugar. The sort I imagine people hear just before concrete boots pull them down to the bottom of the ocean. I recognized it instantly when I heard it again, outside my door.
So Edgar left the club after meeting a strange cat, and then returned later that evening with the same cat.
Just so, Cuddles. I got such a fright when I heard them. Their voices were raised, and the stranger was threatening Edgar.
Well, what was he saying?
Forgive me if I don't repeat the terrible things he said, Cuddles. They froze my blood. And in my panic, I climbed into the first hiding place I could think of. This trunk. But then it latched closed from the outside, and I found myself trapped. Until I was saved by the most handsome detective in the city.
Oh, hey, you, me? Oh, I'm just doing my job. Thank you, Desiree. Desiree, if you can remember any other details about what you heard, it would be invaluable.
Oh, Cuddles. It feels vile to think back to it. Now I know it led to sweet Edgar's death. But between the threads, I think I heard Edgar say he would have the goods. So, doesn't that mean it involved drugs?
Well, what makes you think that?
Well, isn't that what drug dealers do, Sugar? Speaking code? Waxing the goods, they say, or climbing the untied curtains.
I'm not sure either of those are a drug thing, Desiree. In fact, if those are some of the things that they said, they may have just been arranging to swap some second-hand furniture or something.
No, Cuddles. Cats who look like that don't have respectable day jobs. If he moves furniture, he probably has a body concealed in it.
Could Edgar have been involved with something illegal? Well, worse than what the Montamues already do, I mean?
I always suspected it. But when Gumdrop died, I was sure of it.
Wait, say that again? Gumdrop? Who's Gumdrop?
Gumdrop was one of Edgar's friends. Another rich cat. Living a life the rest of us can barely imagine. He came into the club a lot. Till he died of a nip overdose a few months ago. And you know how these criminal cats are, Sugar. Whatever one of them is into, the others are too. I'm certain Edgar was involved with drugs.
Did Edgar frequent the club regularly?
I saw him once a week or so, Sugar. But that was before his long break. He hadn't shown his face in here in months. When he did show up, he'd usually head straight to his father's office, probably to collect his monthly daddy's boy allowance.
Oh, Bartholomew supported him financially?
He must have. Edgar never worked a day in his life. But he'd talk about all the things he'd bought. Cars, boats, fancy watches. He didn't even wear a watch. Never tipped any of the help in the club either. Not Tinkle, not Pepe, or me. Never even bought me a gift. Acted like what he had was something he was entitled to. He clearly got all the money he wanted from Daddy Montemute. But none of us ever saw a single shabloon of it. The two of them probably sat there, laughing and throwing money in the air, admiring antique swords and staring at a map of Firth, imagining all the places they would visit.
You mentioned that last night was different, though, right? He didn't go to his father's office?
No, he hung around the main area, talking, laughing, being normal.
Interesting. Okay, I have some questions about you, personally.
I'm happy to answer any questions you have, Cuddles.
Okay, let's move on. I have some other questions. Okay, well, thanks for the information, Desiree.
Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.